Hi, everyone. I'm back again with another question for the day. And this one was inspired because of a funeral service that I went to a few days ago that really made me think, when you die, as a leader, do you want to be known for everything that you accomplished or for how you touched other people's lives? This is Diana Alexander again. And again, this is a part of work I've been doing as I'm launching my Diana Alexander Consulting LLC. And that LLC is really focusing on leadership and leadership development. After my 32-year career in public service that has been described as stellar, where I ended my career as an assistant CEO of a $10 billion organization with over 25,000 employees in 40 plus departments. At the service, which was of a very, very young lady who I had the privilege of doing some work with in the past, the thing that impressed me the most about her service was the number of people who talked about how she touched their lives. Now, it was obvious that she'd accomplished some things, she'd achieved some things in her young years, but the focus of that service was her personality and how she made everyone feel. And that really gave me pause because I don't know about you, but when I was growing up and we were in high school and the yearbook was coming out, you wanted a lot of accomplishments behind your name. You were president of the student body. You were a varsity cheerleader. You were in choir. You were a star on the basketball team. You were, just a checklist of all of the great things that you accomplished. You were in the chess club, the science club, the this or that or the other. Usually it wasn't so much a focus on you were the most amazingly pleasant person that everyone got along with. But if you were, then you might have gotten the Miss Congeniality in a beauty contest or something like that. But even though people say that's important, I don't feel like we really put enough emphasis on that. One of the things that I'm proud of is that I feel I've gotten to do both. There were a lot of things I accomplished that I can point to and say I'm proud of that and that the legacy continues through those accomplishments. But more than that, I get from people when they see me and they reach out to me compliments about the way I made them feel, about the environment I created for them to work in so that they could be their best selves, so that they could accomplish the goals and objectives they needed to accomplish, so they could feel like they could be authentic and still be a leader. I had one of my staff come to me once, and she and many other people say, "We always know you're in the building, Diana, because we can hear you laughing all over the place." And I'll never forget the first time she came to me and said, "You don't know what your laughter did for me." It freed me up to know that I too could become a leader. I could become a director or department head, because I thought you had to be sedate and that you had to almost be pompous, but you had to be quiet and what she defined at the time as professional, which did not mean that people could hear you laughing from different places all around the building. But hearing me do that freed her to know that she could be herself and be a leader. I found it as quite a compliment, but at the same time, kind of sad that we have painted this picture of leadership as someone who's stern and quiet and always just perfectly put together and don't laugh too loud, don't talk too loud, don't do anything outside of this box that people have created of what a leader is. But at the end of the day, I'm the kind of leader that wants to be real. I am who I am. I have a big smile. I tell everybody God gave me this big smile for a reason. I use it. I laugh. I cry. Sometimes I break out in song. And all of that is done to me in a way that makes people feel at home, feel good about themselves as leaders, and feel like they too can be their authentic self. And so when I think about the end of the day, when I pass and what people would say about me at my funeral, I really hope that even though it's okay if they list some accomplishments, that's all good. But I really hope what really comes across strong is the way that I made people feel. Because what do they say? When you die, people won't remember all the things you have, but they will remember how you treated them and how they felt in your presence. I think as leaders, if we could get a hold of that, we would have a better environment on the job. We would have fewer people feeling like, I can't stand this boss. I got to get away. I can't get ahead on my job because I have this horrible boss. And I've had great bosses and I've had not so great bosses. But if we can learn how to be those kind of people that create environments where people feel like, I can exist here. I can live, work, and play here. I can be creative here. I can be my best self here because the leader that I work under is the kind of leader that creates those kinds of environments. Then what a great work world we would have. I hope that's what you're longing for, that you're looking for. And for those of you who are going to join me at either tomorrow's masterclass, which is tomorrow, September 9th, 4 p.m. on Zoom. It is a free masterclass. I sent out a registration sheet. If you didn't see it on Facebook or Instagram, reply and let me know, and I'll get something out to you. But through that, I'll be sending out a Zoom link so that people can join me. And that's just going to be the start of a series of leadership development types of classes and events and speaking opportunities for me to really talk with you about how can you become that kind of leader? How can you be that leader that people want to follow? They want to be like you. I get those kind of compliments all the time. And this is not bragging. This is just sharing with you what I've been able to achieve so that you can take the benefit of what I have to offer. So again, tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Zoom, we'll be getting together for those of you who wish to join me to start talking about the top 5 mistakes that women in business make when they're trying to move up the ranks. And again, if you come in and you're not a woman, I'm not going to kick you out. Saying women in business does not mean you have to own a business. It doesn't mean you have to be at an executive level. You can be at an entry level. But if you want to learn more about the kind of leader you need to be, then come and join us. I look forward to it. In the meantime, I am Diana Alexander, and I'm out. Have a good rest of your day.